G'day folks, here's a short, sharp update about how things are going on Great Chesterford Junction. I've reached a bit of a standstill here on the main board. I'm waiting on some micro switches to come in the post. I've got 3 points only to connect up with micro switches, and then the board can come down. And I thought I'd just show you or give you an idea of what the works are like, and I'll just see if I can set it up properly here so that we can get a better idea of the system working. Okay, here we go. Right, this is point number 11, and you can see the bell cranks moving. Number 12, a bit further down here, and so on. Number 13. Now I can't move 14 without 15 being moved first. That's a three-way point, so 15 moves into that position, and then 14 can go like that, etc. You can hear the micro switches clicking as the thing works. So there you are. Right, number 18 is a classic because you can see the hinge had to be set here, and there's a bend in the rod to go through this bracing on underneath the baseboard, and the part that activates the point is actually on this side, so you can see what's involved. It works quite well though, that's no problem. This is a typical setup with a micro switch, which is activated by the movement of the rods and bell cranks, etc. Each point now, except for 3 on this main board, has these sorts of arrangements. And some have a bit more. You can see this one has got a micro switch for the frog as well. All the ones for the frogs are set up, so they're all set to go. It's quite simple, but you know, you just finish up with so many wires in the end that underneath the board looks an absolute mess. For example, you can see what this section looks like, but you know, the wires have got to go in somewhere. Here's another one with number 12. Has a slightly different arrangement. It's got the micro switch for the frog there as well. This one had to be done with the old system of a wire activating the tie bar on the top, a bit like a hinge arrangement, I suppose. There was no way I could get a brass hinge in this location, so I've had to compromise there. But you know, so what? It works, and you can see there where the wire comes through the bottom of the baseboard there, and does a bit of a bend, and it's connected up to a rod. It's quite simple, really works quite well actually. There's very little effort required to activate that one. It's just when you get to the at the top, you know, when you're looking at the point itself, you've got this little bar there. I think once it's painted black it won't look too bad, but you know, at the end of the day the thing has to work, so that's what it's all about, folks. Getting your trains to run and work properly. This area here was undoubtedly the hardest one to work on, because you can see that the micro switches are, if I can get my finger in there, are fairly close to the edge of the baseboard, and I had to put this one on an angle so that it could work. This one next to it over here, let's see if we can zoom in a bit, actually has the little contacts bent so they'll fit in properly. There's 3 points being worked on in here in a very tight area, and it happens to be where most of my wiring is coming into the control panel, so it's spaghetti junction under there. But you know, everything's working, so once you put the board down you don't see all this stuff. This is the section where basically it's just rods travelling through under baseboard framing and whatever. And here you can see, if I could just put my finger there, this rod is actually about 15-20 mils above the other rods and passes through the baseboard framing and then into this cable. The idea of the cable is to stop the rod flexing, and there's a parallel cable here doing the same thing as well, and then it travels on up to the next bit of baseboard framing and passes through that. One of them goes on for a third bit of framing, but the one on the lower level stops just here. So yeah, look at all these tags are here to I can't find one. Here we go. These tags are here to let me know what I'm doing. LED feeds for 0.15. So there you go. So while I'm waiting for my delivery of micro switches, I've got to the point with the main board where I just have to wait, and so I've put up the second board. That's the one that has the turntable and engine shed, etc. on it. It's only a short board, but quite a substantial, can't say that word, substantial board. And there's only 6 points on there, so it's not too difficult, I think, to get this one sorted. You can see I've already started planning the roots on there. I don't know whether you can see those lines properly, but they're only rough. But I've already got my roots worked out roughly where the rods are going, etc. So yeah, so that's next on the to-do list. I might be in here tonight doing a bit of this. So there you go. All to be done. Yes, cheers. Gourmet.